Priya's VP asked for 3-week feature in 5 days. Two options, both bad. Bury her team or spend her political capital on a single word. No. Most leadership advice teaches you when to say no, but almost nobody teaches you how to build the system that says it for you. I've been the CTO in that exact room across 5 different industries, restaurant delivery to insurance to a county court system. So let me show you the 3 decision triggers that change the entire conversation. 3 rules that replace courage with clarity, whether you're running 5 engineers or 500. I once had a team spend a full week saving fax server code that was falling apart. When it was done, they told a senior manager, it would have been nice to hear a thank you. He laughed and said, when I flip that light switch in my office, I don't thank the electricians. That's what happens when scope and effort never get mapped to each other. The work stays invisible to the person judging it. The fix wasn't better communication skills. It was better scope communication, so the people above you understand what it actually takes to deliver what they're asking for. Every time a request hits your desk, the old way asks you to be brave. The better way makes the constraint visible before the argument even starts. Courage is inconsistent, but rules scale. 3 written rules turn no into a structural response instead of a political one. Trigger 1, the resource constraint. If the work can't be absorbed with current capacity, something already committed has to come off the board before the new request gets approved. This isn't a preference. It's a written rule that forces the trade-off into the open. The executive who wants a new feature has to name the existing commitment that moves when nobody names it. The new work just piles on top of the old work, and both quietly fail. Trigger 2 is the feasibility gate. No initiative moves forward until the team confirms it can be delivered inside the agreed time, cost, and technical limits. So, when a surprise request lands, you don't say yes or no. You say, let me show you what's actually possible inside these boundaries. The gate protects the team from accepting work based on hope instead of evidence. Hope is not a project management strategy. A real gate has teeth, criteria, an owner, and enough friction that nothing gets waved through on somebody's good mood. Trigger 3 is the domain boundary. This is the one most organizations just skip. If a request falls outside the team's defined ownership, it's automatically declined or routed to whoever does own it. Most places assign owners to projects, but never define the decision rights inside of them. Without a boundary, ownership is just a title that looks good on paper, but delivers zero authority. Draw the boundary, and it stops being a title. It becomes sovereignty. Now, none of this is theory that I made up. The best leaders don't just support their people. They challenge them, and they earn enough trust through execution that a no reads as protection, not politics. There's even a script for it, and it's 3 moves. Agree on the goal, state the hard limit, and offer the way through. Here's the move. Don't say, I can't do it by Tuesday. Say, I can't do it by Tuesday because pulling the global site data takes 4 business days. Say no, but now it's not about you, it's about the risk. A bare no is provocative in a hierarchy. A no with a reason, that's just quality control. The executive gets to be the one who sees the constraint, not the one who gets told no. And this is where it starts to matter for you. Now, let me show you what this looks like when the request actually lands. Priya's VP walks in and asks for a 3-week feature in 5 days. In the old way, Priya tries to summon courage, stammers through a boundary conversation, and feels like she's failing the team, whether she says yes or no. The outcome rides entirely on her confidence and her political capital in that room. Good day, friendly room, she might win. Stressed VP, sacred deadline, she loses before she opens her mouth. In the system design way, Priya doesn't say no. She says, here's my decision domain. Here's the feasibility gate. Here's what I can deliver in 5 days. And she hands the VP 3 options. Option A is the feasibility gate doing its job, confirming what's actually deliverable inside the constraint. Option B is resource constraint, forcing the trade-off into the open, naming exactly what gets delayed. Option C is the domain boundary, routing the extra work to whoever owns the budget or the headcount to add it. She isn't rejecting the idea. She's running a system. The VP gets a choice, not a confrontation, and the real cost is sitting right there on the table the second the options hit. The team isn't blocking the business. They're handing the executive the one thing hierarchy usually hides: what the yes actually costs. Build this, and you stop being the person who says no. You start becoming the person nobody can overload by accident. Most firefighter CTOs never demanded control. They inherited it by being excellent at what they do. But now they're the human operating system for every decision. That doesn't have a routing rule. Every request that lacks a defined boundary, it gets manually processed through them. If that sounds like your calendar, hear this. You don't have a communication problem. You have a missing decision architecture. What replaces courage is a written architecture that makes the constraint visible before anyone has to be brave. But here's the objection that I hear every time. That sounds good in theory, but you can't tell your CEO no without looking uncooperative or risking your job. A structural no isn't defiance, and it isn't a flat refusal. You're not saying we're not doing it. You're saying, hey, we can do it. Here's the trade-off. We can move this into the quarter, but we delay one of these two commitments. Add capacity or cut scope. That turns personal resistance into an executive decision. Priorities, cost, risk. Your CEO doesn't want a yes that quietly destroys your team. They want a clear picture of what that yes actually costs before they sign off. If you just recognized your own VP in that room, hit subscribe, because we fix this stuff every week. Now, get to work.